and I turned the TV on, this little CRT, and when I changed the channel, I just heard like a bong, and then smoke started coming out.
No fucking
It
way.
literally went on fire.
What?
I
It
had to
went on
pick up the
fire?
TV with the
Jesus.
cables attached and just fuck it out the back garden.
Dude, I love that's like the definition. That's a metaphor for life, man. When fucking something's blazing around you, just pick it up and fuck it out of the nearest door. Welcome to episode 7, season 2 of Press and Bun to continue. My name is Keith, the boy who had to phone his mom to pick him up at every sleepover because he wasn't served his staple diet of burgers and chips. I am joined by my co-host Nisha, whose sleepovers took place in the wilderness, lighting bonfires and setting each other's nether regions ablaze with fireworks. That's right, today we're taking you back to the not-so-innocent world of sleepovers. Let me set the scene. There's an idle Saturday where you are so bored that you are driving normally in GTA. The phone rings. You ignore it as your mum answers. Your heart ignites as she says, "Hey, honey bunny, it's for you." Who is on the other line but your partner in crime? The words are uttered, "Hey, wanna stay at mine tonight and smash?" No, not that type of smash, you weirdo. Super Smash Brothers. Some controllers and a link cable as you venture over into the chaotic world of staying up till 4 a.m. in the morning watching Babe Station on Sky Digital. You hear the patter of footsteps racing down in the night as your friend's mom tears your pal a new one for acting the gobshite while you stare awkwardly as she asks, "I bet you don't act like this in front of your mother." You utter the words no as you throw your best friend under the bus, only to repeat it again next week. That's right, today's episode is Sleepovers, baby. I actually missed an entire line of reading that somewhere, but it was so long that I missed it. Hang on, let me see.
That was fucking, you've outdone yourself, man. That was fucking brilliant.
I missed a whole line where I said, "No, not that type of smashy weirdo, Super Smash Bros." And then it was supposed to be some Double Dash, maybe Street Fighter, watching Dragon Ball Z, Halo 2 LAN party. And then I said, at this point, you're frowning at the mouth. You pick up your Game Boy memory cards, controllers, link cables as you go over. But you know, you get the atmosphere and idea, right?
You had me drawn in there. Even when you said, like, do you remember when someone would like ring the house on you, be like, "Do you want to stay over at my house?" You just saying that just brought me back, man. It
Yeah.
just fucking brought me back. Like,
Dude, I remember my poor friend's mom, like I said, got 50 calls from me. I'll be
Yeah.
like, "Nah, they'll pick up the phone, they'll be home. They probably were home the whole time." Like, "Do not answer the phone, that's Keith again." Like, I'd be like, "Come on, do." I was like, "Is he coming over now? Wait, can he come over now, please?"
yeah. Oh, brilliant. Do you remember just the fun you'd have? You'd sitting there playing, you'd be getting some nice food, you'd be staying up way too fucking late. You're looking out the window and all of a sudden it's bright out again. And you're like, shit, it's 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's the classic. Like, I remember when you first go over to like a friend's house and you realize they don't live like my house at all. Do you know, you're getting your very first experience of like a different household, and you're like,
Yeah.
"What you mean I take my shoes off at the door? I'll be keeping them on."
Yeah, man, it's so weird, isn't it? How everyone is so different. You think like everyone's like you, and everyone does everything the way.
Yeah.
And you go over and it's totally different. You're like, what the fuck? This is weird.
There's nothing like a full domestic going on when you're sitting at the
Oh,
table and like your friend is screaming at their mom like, "Fuck you, mom! I'll eat whatever I want," and you're like, "Ha ha ha, la di da di da, I'm just
You're
gonna
so
go out there for a
awkward.
piss."
Oh,
Yeah.
so
And that's why I'm
awkward.
saying as well, when it's like, I bet you don't talk, like it could be you the one acting the gobshite, and then everyone freezes when the mother or parent pops into the room in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
And they're like, "Timmy, for fuck's sake, get to fucking sleep, you stupid piece of shit." And then you're like, "Oh, Keith Pett, I'd say you're very good at home, are you? I'd say you wouldn't even fucking cause your mother a hassle." And you're like, "Yes, I'm an angel sent from heaven." And your
Yeah.
friend is like, "Fuck you."
Oh, brilliant, man! Like, sleepovers back in the day were just fucking deadly, weren't they? Like, it was
The
just
hype.
playing games, watching movies. We used to have sleepovers to watch like WWF main events
Mm.
and stuff like that.
Willy Wanker
And
Federation, or what was it?
Willy Wanker Federation,
Yeah, the
exactly,
classic.
yeah. Oh yeah, classic, yeah.
Mm.
Staying up watching Babe Station.
I have stories, man, because I remember like so funny. I don't know if I've told this story before, but
Right.
this story is called The TV Guide. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I remember Richard was over, would have been a lot of these sleepover times. Like we would go,
Hmm.
he'd come over to my house more often than I go to his because we had more freedom at my house.
All right. Right.
My house was like, yeah, eat what we want, play video games, do whatever the fuck we want. Where when we're at his house, it was like, here's some spinach and all for a brisk walk. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't wanna.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, he was over, and I remember I think my parents had friends over, and the way it worked was like there was like kind of two living rooms. They were kind of split by these doors. So what happened
Okay.
was, they're in the kitchen, they're having a couple of drinks, and my dad would just pop in every so often, and be like, "How are you getting on, lads? You doing all right?"
Yeah.
But what he kind of started to pick up on every time he walked into the room is every time he came in, I quickly hit TV Guide, and we're on the TV Guide. So every time he walked in, the TV Guide was just on the all channels, movies, sports, things.
Yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
just is like, why are you always on the TV Guide?
Like teletext.
Oh, like as in, did you have Sky Digital growing up?
No, no, we had the teletext. You ever use the teletext? Remember that?
I do,
Yeah.
like vaguely. But this was more like it's just a blue screen and it has like all channels, movies, sports,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So
Mm,
we kept flicking to that because we were watching a show called Out There, which
right.
was like this like 900th like
Yeah.
dodgy TV show where it's like the weirdest shit, but there was just boobs in it. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm.
So every time he came in, we're like, what? How are you on? And he's like, why are you watching the TV Guide? Now, and there's a button called backup for those who
Uh,
know on your Sky Digital remote, which means
right.
basically it's like your porn search history, right? So if he presses backup on the remote, the last thing he's going to see is tits on fucking Sky Digital and two like fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
13-year-olds fucking watching it. Oh, but just
Oh.
just to like, lads, what are you doing on the TV
Mm,
Guide all the time? We're like,
mm.
like beads of sweat rolling down you, like we've been found out. Like just sketch, lads, just run.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, brilliant. The joyful, what would you say, inquisitiveness of
Yeah.
youth. You
The
know what I mean?
inquisitive young mind. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
We're
yeah.
just trying to seek a further education. We're
Yes,
just trying to
yeah.
find out what we didn't know
Broaden your
and
horizons.
broaden my horizons, broaden the nips.
So tell me this, right? Do you have, are there any standout games for you for sleepovers? Like, I can remember, I have a good few games that I remember playing when I was going to sleepovers. An awful lot of watching movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember my friend Kieran. I can remember staying in his house and playing the Sega Mega Drive. I think we were playing like ice hockey, but it was on like what I can picture it now, like the game or the screen, the TV screen was like the size of a fucking Game Boy. It was tiny,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember us like huddled up in front of it, like, and it was like in the middle of the kitchen kind of area, going out to an extension, and like us just sitting there, and I just have this image of like of me and him as two little kids sitting there, and I remember just having just loads of fun, just playing this fucking
Sure.
game.
Or when you have
Um,
like a tiny CRT and it's split four
yeah,
ways playing GoldenEye, and it's like you literally the size of your screen is the size of your phone screen, and you're like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is great. Like you're just squinting, like
This
I
is the
think,
best.
yeah, but it was
It
the
was.
best, man.
Yeah.
I love sleepovers define the idea of couch co-op, and they also define the idea of couch multiplayer, which I
Yeah.
think is a really big thing,
Hmm.
because then there's no like playing online is a lot of fun and you can meet a lot of people, but there's no
Hmm.
substitute for physically having someone next to you bumping
Yeah.
off you,
Yeah.
or like if you're doing something cooperatively, which I
Mm.
think is so good. And I think the thing about sleepovers as an episode idea is it really is like a sequel to the rental video store. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
part
Absolutely.
it's part of that feeling of like it's a Saturday, it's a Friday, and you're bored, and you get to go
Mm.
over to your friends that they get to over too, and you plan about getting the pizza, you plan about what games we're going to play. You
Mm.
stay. I remember the Game Boy Advance SP was a big one for me
Cool.
because we'd both be playing like way past when we're supposed to be asleep, and we're playing like
Yeah.
multiplayer games on WarioWare, like giggling away like little girls all night.
Deadly.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Nice.
But I think in terms of games, there's a lot of them.
Mm.
You were saying, so you were playing on the, what game was it you were playing?
It was like an ice hockey game, and like I'm not really into
Mm-hmm.
sports, but I just that's the one that stuck out of my head
I
that I remember us
love
playing.
ice hockey games.
Do you?
Like when I say love,
Wait,
I
are you
haven't
taking
played.
the piss?
No, I'm not. So
What?
like it's the only sport game I've ever enjoyed growing up. So
You're fucking joking
I
me.
swear to God, there was a bobblehead one on the 360 where it's like bobblehead ice hockey.
No
And it's just
way.
a very quick, because you have the things with the ring around the character. So when you pass,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
FIFA in that way. But
Mm.
like it's such a small arcade game. And then I
Mm.
played, there was an actual hockey game I had for the original Xbox that I loved playing
Deadly.
multiplayer with my friends. Like it was just
Class.
because it was so quick paced and it was so like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was I never watched ice hockey.
Yeah.
But I also had a pixel art ice hockey game as well. It was like an
Deadly.
older one, and like they were multiplayer game wise, so fun,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah. Deadly, man. That's mad. I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess it's
Uh,
kind of something that's only unlocked in me now because I think the
yeah.
last one I played was on 360.
Ah, nice.
Um, but I mean, dude, so many games. I have a list of them here.
Mm.
Like a
Go on.
Burnout was like a huge one.
Ah, you're a big Burnout fan, aren't you?
Well, I mean, a big Burnout fan. To be a big Burnout fan means you were a Burnout fan when you were like 14. At this point, I'm
Right.
being 31 now because they haven't made a Burnout game in, you know,
Oh, really? Yeah.
yonks. No, 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 they haven't. They haven't made one for
Oh,
like a
shit.
good, really, really long time.
Yeah.
But like Mario Party 4 was a huge one. That's
Mm.
my favorite Mario Party.
Oh, really?
Smash Bros.
Mm.
Cooperative. The amount of times when we used to Smash Bros. And N64 pause the game because it had that camera mode and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
look at all the detail and the characters and like freak out over that.
Deadly.
Double Dash was like
Cool.
the Mario Kart, but Mario Kart 64 battle mode specifically
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah,
such a
yeah.
good
Battle
time
mode, yeah.
because we'd go up to the top of the towers and would shoot as many green shells as we can, and then we'd both
Hmm.
drive off and would try and dodge like 60. Because the green shells, like you could have a lot of them. Like you
Yeah,
could keep firing them and they wouldn't disappear for like a
yeah.
long time. So it'd like make up our own mini games doing that.
Deadly. Oh, yeah.
Um,
You mentioned that before about
mm,
making up your own games. Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
clever.
yeah.
That's pretty clever.
Playing like Halo 2 cooperatively,
Yeah.
like going down to West Cork and Skull
Oh,
and
yeah,
having a
yeah.
week down there and we played like the Halo 2 campaign and would rent movies. There was also like Luigi's Mansion, Conquer Live and Reloaded, a single game, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. We played a
Nice.
lot of the multiplayer stuff with it and
Mm.
Chows and Gears of War later on and stuff like that.
Deadly.
But yeah, I fucking loved them all. What kind of stuff were you playing?
Goldeneye was a big one. I
Mm.
remember a lot of Goldeneye. Same in friends' houses that I was in primary school. So it kind of like my friend group from around my area. I went to a different school than everyone else did. They all went to the local one, and I went to the one a little bit further away that my brother went to. And because it meant that if say my mum was at work or whatever, my granny's house was just down the road, and there was always
Mm-hmm.
someone down there, so we could just walk down there. So I had a lot of friends around that area, and they were all into the N64. And I can remember a lot of sleepovers with the lads. One of the lads, John, I remember going to his house, playing Goldeneye, having a sleepover. I remember going to my friend Simon's, and we were playing Mission Impossible. Did you ever play Mission Impossible on the N64?
I don't think so.
Oh man, it's like I remember because he rented Mission Impossible, or his dad rented Mission Impossible on the VHS, and then we were playing. I'm fairly sure it was Mission Impossible on the N64, or possibly the PlayStation 2.
Sure.
But I can remember that as like one of the most fun nights, and just everyone having a good time. And
But it's the
uh,
excitement, Max.
yeah,
You have that combo. You're like, we have the movie, we
yeah,
have the game. We're gonna
yeah,
run around like headless chickens in excitement. Headless chickens, and like
endless
run
chickens.
headless chickens, and run around on in there and slap it
Yeah,
on in, and you're just like,
yeah,
it goes back to Sonic shoes and Buffy. You know what I mean? You're just running around the
yeah.
because you get each other excited as well.
Mm.
That's the problem. You both be like jumping off the walls. You're like the Animaniacs, just like fucking slapping around the place.
Yikes, yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh,
Um,
deadly. And I can remember then saying, so in my friend group, like around where I lived, like I can remember saying in Jay's, and I can remember he had Mortal Kombat on VHS, the movie. And I can
nice.
remember sitting there watching that, like he loved that movie. And oh man, just so many times was staying up again. Watching wrestling was a big one as well, because we were all into WWF.
Mm-hmm.
We watched a lot of wrestling and Diddy Kong Racing. I can remember when friends would stay over
Do
at my house
do do
because
do 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 do
yeah,
do do do
man,
do do
fucking
do
love
do
it.
do
People staying over playing that,
do
and just so much fun. Yeah, man, oh, I love that game so much.
It's really really good. Like
It's
as a
mad.
racer goes, it's fucking fantastic. And like I didn't realize it came out on the DS or 3DS, like a port of it.
Oh, did it? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. And
Oh,
like that
nice.
game, more than any other game, needs a remake and it needs an online mode. I would love to do
Oh,
like community nights with Diddy Kong Racing. That would
oh,
be king. And like
yes.
interestingly enough, is it on the N64 emulator for Switch? I don't think so, is it?
Um,
I feel like I would have known if it
I'm not
was because I
sure.
feel like I would
I'm
have
not
played it.
sure.
Because the interesting thing about those emulators, and it's been proven. So, do you know the Game Boy Advance one came out recently?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
someone actually, because it's actually just an emulator. It's
Right.
literally like it's not an official Nintendo proprietary piece of whatever. It's just a normal emulator. So
Yeah.
someone actually managed to put the ROM of Pokemon on it to play it
Okay.
on the Switch in it,
No
and
way.
they tested out the online trading and the online battling, and it works.
Oh, No
So
way.
yeah, because it just sees a switch to a switch as if it was linked.
Oh,
So once you have
like a
your
link
friend
cable.
list, you can just, yeah,
Yeah.
so it is literally just a virtual link cable.
Oh,
So if you and me are friends on the Switch and we're both playing Pokemon Red and Blue,
yeah.
we can just trade and your little name will come up in the corner and you
Yeah.
can just trade and we can battle, which is
Oh
fucking awesome.
shit.
So I was
Deadly.
thinking if they had Diddy Kong, because they've done that with Mario Party as well.
Right.
So Mario Party 2 and is it 2 and 3 were the N64 ones? 2 and
Uh,
3 was on the 64, right?
I think so. I think so. I
Mhm.
never actually got into Mario Party, so I'm not too sure.
Regardless, you can still
Mm.
play them online now. So you can play
Yeah.
them online. So like you and me could play the N64 Mario, and we can play GoldenEye multiplayer
Oh
online.
yeah,
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like so stuff
Oh,
like that's very very cool.
oh man.
Kind of gives you a bit of that
Mm.
sleepover buzzing.
It does. It does. Do you know what I missed out on that I would have? I was only talking to my older brother Aiden about this recently. LAN parties.
Mm.
Like, you know, when you bring consoles and TVs and you set them up. And I know
Hmm.
Halo was a big game for that.
Yeah, Halo is like you can't like to say that Halo crafted LAN parties multiplayer and even online multiplayer.
Mm.
Like Halo, like Xbox Live made online multiplayer popular, I would say. Like
Yeah,
there
you
was
reckon?
obviously online multiplayer and PC stuff before, but nothing to the extent of mainstreaming it as much as Halo did, right? Because
Right.
once the original Xbox, like, had Xbox Live, it became
Mm.
something very accessible and easy for people to do,
Mm-hmm.
unlike a PC where you had to have your parents' permission nearly to play it because it was
Mm-hmm.
like no one had their own PC back in the day. It was the family PC. Do you know,
Yeah,
so you were
yeah,
always
yeah.
sharing it and stuff.
True.
So once that console actually had a good online system that was solid, I
Yeah.
think it absolutely mainstreamed. I think Halo 2 is very much so, and the original Xbox hugely responsible for crafting and cultivating what the online multiplayer space is today.
Mm.
Do you know? I think it was such a
Yeah.
huge thing, and the LAN parties was just like the introductory. That was just the appetizer for what came
Yeah.
after that. Do you know? Um,
It just seems like such a cool and fun thing to have done, though. You know
mhm.
what I mean? But you're right. Like it was the PC was always the family PC. So
Yeah.
yeah, no,
So
it
you'd
totally
have to
gets
get
my
off
totally
like
get
so
you.
once you had your own, like you'd be online for as long as you fucking want in your room with
Yeah,
your little CRT and your Xbox, but
yeah.
you'd never be allowed to bring the PC up because you'd be just
Mm.
wanking your days away. Do you know what I mean? You'd be
And
like,
if someone rang the phone, the internet would drop.
yeah,
You'd be like,
dude,
"Fuck."
I remember that happening like recently with like Richard, not recently, but like when we were 14, 15 playing Crackdown, like he still had the setup that if the phone rang, the internet cut. So anytime the phone rings, he's like, don't fucking answer it. It's like, Keith, I'm going to be cut off. I'll talk to you
Yeah.
later. It's like,
Oh, brilliant. Well, you know, man, when I was thinking about this my sleepover stories, when I looked on our Discord, yeah, I told you I saw all the responses, but I didn't read them.
Mhm.
All I saw was this picture of like a fucking rubber Lilo that I think Mary Major left, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I have no clue what context it's in, and I can't wait to hear it because like
I
that's all I saw. I was like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is this?
So for anyone who doesn't know, we do have a Discord and we're asking, for certain episodes, we want your stories in because, obviously just hearing about our experiences, doesn't cultivate what it is for, everyone's sleepover. So it's good to get, a whole
Yeah.
wide ranging of people from different places, different countries, the whole
Mm-hmm.
lot. So we do have a couple. I like skimmed through them, but I
Go
didn't
on.
read them properly. So I am
Right.
also don't understand most of the context of the stories. I
Brilliant.
just kind of had a
Brilliant.
little brief look. I remember though, like very early being in Richard's house and in the tree house, and we were trading Pokemon, and he had the original Game Boy with the link cable.
Deadly.
That was really nice. And then playing Donkey Konga, and his mom giving out to us for looking stupid.
Mm. Oh
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
oh my god, this was so fucking funny. There was a time where I think we were kind of older at this stage. We might have been 16 or something,
Mm.
and we were all sleeping. Like the way his house worked was the bedrooms were upstairs, and there was like a kitchen living area downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we were all making like too much noise. So he's coming down. He's like, shut the fuck up, guys. And there's like four of us giggling,
Yeah,
like fucking to each other. And so it was me, John, and someone else, and someone else. And me and John were the two people making the noise, right?
yeah.
And the other two lads were asleep. So he came down, he's like, right, lads, fuck you. And he curb stomped the two lads who were asleep, thinking it was them.
Jesus.
He was like fucking kicking him, like shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's like fucking banged them, and we were dying because the poor lads were asleep, being like, what the fuck is going
Oh
on?
my fucking hell, man.
But the weird part about this as well was like there was windows out the back, and there was someone who like with torches. I swear to God, I could be making this up, but I'm pretty sure not. There was someone like with torches in his back garden, and we were like, Richard, there's someone fucking breaking into your house. like, what the fuck is going on? Just two lads with torches walking around the place. And we were like, I don't know. He was like, what the fuck's happening? I also remember waking up at sleepover at 6 in the morning to catch like the latest episode of Dragon Ball. Would wake up at 6 a.m. after going to bed at like
Deadly.
3 and watching them as well, which is kind of cool too.
Nice.
But yeah, there's a mix of stuff in there, you know.
Fucking hell, man.
It's so vivid in my brain,
Yeah.
man.
I do remember staying over in my friend
I
Jono's.
love the way you have this like little Dr. Evil Pinky reminiscing on the story. Like, I remember the chaos. Magma lava. Dr. Evil.
I do remember staying up watching Austin Powers as well.
Oh,
Fucking
such a
love
good
that
movie.
film, man.
Love it. Love it. I could do a
it
whole
was
podcast
so
on Austin
funny,
Powers.
so funny. I remember going to the cinema. Actually, loads of us going to the pictures to see Austin Power, Gold Member, I think it was, and there was like about 10 of us, and half of them didn't get in because they weren't old enough, so they bought tickets to a different movie, and then snuck in to see Austin Powers while we were in there, and the lads like came running into the pictures after them, like trying to kick them out, and you're like running around or something. It was fucking crazy. But
Oh,
I
fuck.
remember staying over in Jono's playing Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
and we also just decided to have a game of Monopoly. Okay, so just a board game Monopoly, and we were playing for fucking hours, man.
I've never played
Hours.
Monopoly.
Oh,
FYI.
really? Oh, it's deadly, man. It's good fun. It's good fun,
Mhm.
but it goes on. It goes on for fucking ages.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
I know
me,
there's a lot of like broken families over Monopoly, you know.
it can get pretty heavy, man. It can get pretty heavy. But so we were playing away, and it got so late that like we just literally couldn't stay awake. So like, right, what we'll do is, because we were sitting on his bed, we'll carefully take the game and put it underneath the bed, yeah, so we can start playing it again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, and we went to sleep, and then when we got up the next day, I think we had to go to the shop or something, to get a bit of milk for a cup of tea or whatever. And we got back, his sister had like cleaned the room, and she just saw it, and she'd taken it and put it all back in the box. And I can remember we got back and we were like,
Oh.
fuck, we were really looking forward to playing that game Monopoly. I don't know why, that for some reason, like, look, it's not an exciting game, but I remember that, like, us running upstairs, and the
Yeah.
room was just all, like, the bed was made, the room was clean, and the game was back in the box, and we were like, fuck it.
Fucking disaster, man. It's like, it's
Ah,
the equivalent of like, do you know, like those memory card stories as well, where it's like, I oversaved your game, I'm so sorry. And it's
yeah,
like, well,
yeah,
that's my life over. Do
yeah,
you know what I mean? You're
yeah,
like, this is the end of the existence. That is it.
yeah,
Fucking, it's like, it's kind of, you know, what's the shame, which is obviously we're gonna try and do it soon. Is like we want to, like, you know, we want to almost like recreate the sleepover vibes. You know,
we
like
do.
pick a
Yeah,
game, pick a movie, rock it on in.
absolutely,
But
yeah.
it's a pity. Why don't you do these things as adults?
I don't know,
Is that a
man.
stupid question? Like, or is it like, well, I have a wife? Or is
Yeah.
it like, do you know, like, I feel like it's kind, I suppose in fairness though, I don't want to stay, like, if I have a choice of sleeping in my own bed at this age, you know, you'll probably take it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's a
See,
bit of that too.
yeah, like I think when you get a bit older, like when you hit a certain age, well, when I hit a certain age, it was all about just going out and fucking
Yeah.
partying and having fun and drinking and
Mhm.
whatnot. Like, and
Yeah, for sure.
it wasn't like, I kind of veered off of video games for
I was the same.
years, man.
I was the same.
Years. Because it was like, you
I
want to be cool and you want to go out
well,
and
and
fucking.
also there is a part of you that's also just enjoying that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
true,
And like
true.
there's an element, like, I wouldn't enjoy it now. There's no way. But
Yeah.
like I would have to honor the fact that when I was that age, I did probably enjoy going out and drinking and stuff. Do you know what I mean? You know what I think your 30s are like? Your 30s are like being 13 again, but having like self-awareness and autonomy. I feel like
Yeah.
so many people when they start hitting their 30s again are like, well, I like Pokemon again. I
Yeah.
like my collection. I like the things that I like, the small things in life that give me
Yeah.
happiness, like I did when I was 13. And I have, you know, more time, more autonomy, and more money to do the things I enjoy doing. So I feel like it's
Fucking
13 going on 30. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like those 20 ages. But so that's why it's kind of like, I mean, the podcast is almost born from that re-love of
True.
discovering the things you love from those times, which is nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
So
that's
it would be
a
kind of
good
cool
point.
to, it's equivalent of like, oh, I know if I stay up past 2, I'm going to be fucking awfully tired for the next 2 days because I'm an old
Yeah.
man now as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like those things catch up with you so much easier.
They do.
Like
They do indeed.
it's
Yeah.
it,
If
it
you
really
have to get up, but like you said, like if
responsibilities come
yeah,
into play.
basically, yes, yes.
So
It's
it's
all
like,
about
it's like I have to go
responsibilities.
home and look after the kid and the
Mm,
missus and do my job and do
yeah.
whatever. So it's like you
Yeah.
can't be hacked for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I think I love the phrase that youth is wasted on the young. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Oh man, I've heard that so many times, but I've never heard it before, man. Like
yeah,
right
you've
now.
never put it into that kind of
Mm.
context. Yeah, before you know it's come and gone too soon. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like fucking Robbie Williams lyrics there as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Can't go
But
wrong
it's
with a bit of Robbie, can you?
true though. It's like that kind of because when you're young, like it's always like rose tinted glasses with everything. I
Mm,
think when you look back on nostalgia, you
mm,
realize that it's like when you were young and you were like. You were never tired. You were never like whatever, you always had energy.
mm.
Nothing like phased you. You had no responsibilities. And you were like, yeah, fuck it all. But then it's when
Yeah.
like, when you're older, you look back and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, if I had the energy and the free
Oh,
time to do
stop.
that shit again,
Stop.
man.
Yeah, I know. Fucking hell. Now you're making me think back like that. And I'm like, damn it. I want that
Yeah.
energy again. I fucking need that energy again.
Yeah. But I
Got
feel like you have to do all those things because it's like, and I feel like, well, you don't have to, and like you probably recommend it not, but a lot of people go through their early 20s college drinking years. And like
mm,
part of me now is like, well, you had to go through that to kind of go through it and over it and have your fun and then be
yeah.
done with it, kind of.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
there's a part of me as well, it's like, oh, if you could have those years back as well, like you'd be fucking, but you need to, you are what you are at the age. Do you know what I mean?
If I got the chance to go back now, man, say in my 20s,
Mm.
I just like when I got to Friday, Saturday night, I just sit in, man, and get a takeaway and watch a movie.
Ah,
And I wouldn't
like that's
be,
my
I
favorite
wouldn't be
thing to do.
fucking arse going to a nightclub and
Oh,
oh
stop, stop.
fuck that.
Well, except for the time we went to a nightclub and I couldn't get you out of there.
Oh
You were
yeah.
really reliving your.
I was on holidays, man. I was on
You were on
holidays. I
holidays.
had
You
no
were on holidays.
responsibilities for two
I
days,
know. All I know is,
and
man,
was
is
moving
once
and
it starts
grooving.
dribbling, you're squirting. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that was a great night. That was a
It
fucking
was.
great night. A night
We
we were out for like 3 hours.
we were literally out for 3 hours and we were hungover for 16 hours.
Oh, it was good crack though,
But
man.
then we had, you know what though? But then the next day was kind of settled right because we had like, we had like La La Land and we both realized we loved La La Land and we both
Yeah,
realized we like lighting candles and drinking red wine and
yeah, we do.
eating little pizza wraps. And then we
Yeah,
realized how gay we were and it was all great. We were having a really sparkly time.
it did. It was very
And that
sparkly.
was a sleepover.
It was actually. Now
That
you
was the
say,
most recent sleepover I've had in my
yeah,
life.
was it? Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so.
Well, I'll be coming down soon, man. Well,
Mm.
next chance I get, I'll come down and
Well,
have a
we're gonna
proper
really
sleepover.
double down on the sleepover because I went to. Oh, I meant to say as well. Went to Grand Theft Audio, which was a
Oh,
great time.
deadly,
Really, really cool. So
nice.
highly
Yeah,
recommend checking those guys out. They're super,
ah,
super talented, super nice,
yeah,
and yeah, had a blast of a time. Well worth seeing. So do check them out as well.
yeah,
Um,
deadly.
but yeah, the next time you come down, I'm telling you, like there's no fucking piss. I'm going to take you to all the different best takeaways in Cork. Right, we're going to get a
Yes,
little bit from everything. Right,
yes,
so we're going to get like a course here and a course
yes.
here and a course here. Right, and then we'll bring that on home. Course, we'll have to go into Pennies and buy our fluffy socks and our
Oh yeah,
very silky PJs. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
You want that cock sliding off that, like you want no friction. You know what I mean? Pure silk, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want any friction. You want that free willy flapping around the place.
Although
And
I She I just hit my headphones off my mic. I do have, because obviously I was planning on coming down and seeing Grand Theft Auto. I do have the matching GTA Vice City T-shirts that I
it's
bought for us
true.
for the gig, so we can. Well, I'll bring them down. We can wear them
Do
on our sleepover.
Dude, that sounds good. That sounds good. We'll take photos and stuff. We need to
Yeah,
do a little photo shoot, sleepover
we
photo
can
shoot.
do photo shoot. Yeah,
Also, I'm putting it out there, but I wouldn't mind getting some face masks.
some face masks.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
like
Like a
moisturizer.
nice little moisturizer,
Yeah,
cucumber, refreshing
yeah,
feeling on in
man.
there with a glass of wine.
Do you know what, man?
I
I don't
love
know
being boring. Do you know?
when.
I love it.
So,
I
oh,
fucking love being fucking boring.
me too, man. It's fucking great, isn't it? But
I mean,
actually,
it's not
I
even
can get a
boring to me, but like, you know what I mean? To some
yeah.
people, it would be.
I get some good facial masks, man. I went
I'll
to
give you a
college.
facial, boy. I'll
I
fucking shit in your
I
fucking
went
mouth,
to
boy.
college, man, and did one of the classes I did as part of my holistic therapies. I'm a
Oh,
qualified
yes.
massage therapist. Was facials, and we got to do a facial class. I remember there was only myself and one other guy in the class, and he's fine, but he had an allergic reaction
Oh, God.
to one of the products that we were using in class one day, and his face swelled. Oh my God. It
Was
was
he like Bear
fucking,
Grylls when he was stung by the bee and he's like,
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
still drink your own piss?
It was fucking terrifying, man. And I even remember the teacher was a bit freaked out. Like, we were like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
you're like, this feels like something that will cost
Yeah,
us money.
yeah, fucking hell. But it was great, man. That as a college course, I couldn't recommend enough because it was like holistic massage therapy. Yeah, so we did all
Hmm.
different types of massage. We did like Reiki and stuff like
So
that.
that made you
And
a popular man with the ladies, I'd say.
but basically, you spend
Would
half
you
the
like to
time.
come back to my house for your holistic massage?
You spend half the time like getting massage, so you're basically asleep for half the fucking course. Because I just like, as soon as you get on the massage table, you're just like gone dead.
Yeah, we had kind of something similar, like not similar, but in our therapy when we'd do mindfulness, we'd be doing breathing exercises. So we'd be doing
Yeah,
like a 20-minute fucking meditation,
yeah,
and you'd actually be fucking like, I need to sleep. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And then you hear
yeah,
the
yeah,
gong and you're going into like a transient state.
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice and
Mhm.
relaxing. But yeah, being boring for the win. Like
Yeah.
I went, like, give you a fucking example. Like I went out for 2 drinks last night, and I
Mhm.
woke up today like, and I wasn't hungover at all. Like I
Mhm.
wasn't, I wasn't, I didn't have a headache. I wasn't sick, but
Mhm.
I am fucking exhausted. Like, as in my body was like, you used all the liver capacity you have for the rest of the year. Do
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
I
know what I
get
mean?
you.
It's like
I get you.
you'd be this is also why like youth is wasted on the young in that way. It's like Jesus. Now even like taking a fucking going outside past a half an hour past your bedtime could be detrimental. Do you know what I mean?
Half an hour past your bedtime.
It's true, man.
So we went over a few of our stories, but let's be honest, man. The people who wrote in with their own stories were way better than ours. So we'll focus on the
They're the
few.
main focus. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll focus on the listeners here, man, because there's some really good ones. But the first one I'm going to read out, right? I haven't read it, so I don't
Okay.
know what it is.
Who's it from?
It's from Chris
Okay.
Sanfan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
They were retro game.
Retro Game Network.
Yeah, they've been in my stream a lot lately.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And yeah, they said we were saying, I was telling right in your stories, like I sent it to Nisha. I hope
yeah,
he
yeah.
knows I sent it to
I,
him. I was
I,
like, well, and
I
he said,
only
and he
literally
told
only
me,
saw.
and he told him to kick him if he
Yeah,
doesn't see it.
yeah, I literally only saw it there before we started up. So right, so I'm gonna read this out. It's new to me. So he says story time. So this one sleepover that I did was back when I was 9 years old. My neighbor's birthday. He was turning 10. There were probably about 10 of us there. And we all started playing my friend's NES. We had just watched the second season premiere of The Simpsons. For the second
Ooh.
season of The Simpsons, man, where we compared who was allowed to watch the show and who wasn't. We
Oh, was that kind of thing when you're young and you're 1 year older? It's like, yeah, you're actually not emotionally ready to watch The Simpsons. My mother thinks you're too young, or whatever.
we all watched it that night and we felt like rebels. Ah, yeah, yes, we obviously thought you're all young. Getting back to the games, we started playing a few rounds of WWF WrestleMania game.
And there you go, man, after your own heart.
I love it so much. What a game! That was made for the NES, and as a bunch of boys, 8 to 10 year old boys, would do, we started emulating the moves. Do you remember doing like kill each other?
Or when you
Uh,
come out of any movie and you are that character, like you've
yeah,
adopted that personality as your
yeah.
main character
Oh,
trait for the rest of the week.
totally,
Yeah,
totally,
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Oh, brilliant! My friend's sister, who was 8, was like, "I could do that, but I don't want to." My friend, who just turned 10, dared her to do a wrestling move on him. Long story short, my friend's sister picked up my friend and threw him across the room. He got slammed into the console TV by his younger sister. My friend's dad was flipping out, going, "You could have killed someone," and their mom was going, "Wow, I
How
won't."
strong was this 8-year-old girl?
You won't have to worry about you when you start dating. Uh, As we did in the early 90s, my friend just brushed it off and the sleepover continued. About 10 minutes later, my friend's sister goes, "Can I play Mike Tyson's Punch Out?" We all ran the fuck out of the den because we knew she could punch someone out at that point.
That
Ah,
is
brilliant.
that is a
Brilliant.
strong. Oh my
Ah,
god. That
deadly.
is. I hope
Deadly.
that career didn't go wasted. I hope they're doing something with that strength.
I messaged Chris back saying, "I just saw this now as you're about to start," and I just after seeing he responded saying, "I was just at Keith's stream and told him to kick your ass."
Yeah, you see, I told
So
you.
now, Chris, we got there. We got there.
You can
Thanks very
message him
much.
right now and said we literally just read it live on the
Yeah.
podcast there now.
Will I message him right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right?
do,
So
do,
he's
do, do,
gonna, if
do.
he
So
listens to this.
because this will be a nice connective tissue for when he sees this message and listens to the
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. I'm saying we are currently live and just read out your story. So now, Chris, you listen to this episode of the podcast. This is it happening right now
This is
in
this
real
is it
time.
happening right now, baby.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Will
Right,
I read out one of mine?
yeah, go for it. Hit me.
Lift said, just a short one, and I'll read another one after this.
Mhm.
One was playing a snowboard kids with a friend on the N64. We
Cool.
had a rotisserie chicken for dinner. You
Yeah,
know, the memories pop. I'm actually fucking, I'd love a rotisserie chicken.
yeah.
Another one was playing Silent Hill with a friend who was a heavy smoker. The fog crept out of the TV. Do you remember like fucking cigarette smoke and like
Oh yeah,
electronics
yeah,
and that
yeah,
like
yeah.
fucking vibe?
Brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
Soft Taco Raider, how you doing, baby? Said a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there existed a thing called Sega Channel.
What?
This dominated the after school activity the minute we got off the bus. Would rush to my friend's house down the street. Often these adventures would flow into sleepover on a Friday. There would be pizza and would rotate controllers in and out based on who died last. This is really interesting now.
Yeah.
For those unfamiliar with the service, it was a magical service provided by a cable company. It was a special cartridge that allowed a standard coaxial TV cable to connect to the back or the side of the special cartridge, and the cable company would be streaming Sega games to you monthly. Basically, Game
What?
Pass back in the day.
What?
Picture retro Xbox Game Pass for Sega before its time. It was that special. And do you know what the interesting thing about this is? Do you know what? It reminded me when I was in New York.
Yeah.
I remember playing N64 games in the room off the TV with no N64. It was just like streamed onto the TV and the controller plugged into the TV.
Oh my god, so did I. So did
Yeah,
I.
do you remember
In
that?
a hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god, it was a
yeah,
play but it was PlayStation. What the fuck? Hold
yeah. It's
on.
like cable games.
Oh my fucking god. So he had a Sega cartridge that
Uh
you
huh.
plugged the cable into
Uh
and they
huh.
streamed.
And they would
What
have paid
the
the cable company, I guess, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh man, that is fucking I can't believe I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's
That is
awesome,
just
isn't
after
it?
blowing my mind. Oh my
It
god.
continues on and he says, this bonding experience lasted for a solid 6 years till my friend moved away. Going from
Uh,
SNES to N64, too many titles we went through to list here for sure. Probably the first time I began to appreciate how important that time was to me back then, and there
uh,
wasn't any more of it. Might be one of the reasons today why I don't sell my physical games and will always
mm.
buy physical copies if they are available instead of digital.
Total. Oh my god, that's gonna make me start crying. That was so cool. That is
Uh-huh.
so. I cannot wait to look up that afterwards, man, and check it out. That's just really it really is blowing my mind. Man,
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love retro video games, man.
I know.
I
I know.
fucking love them so much, and you
I,
like,
when
like
when you hear someone else's story like that and what it
yeah,
means to them, and then the memory of it, and again, we're talking about this youth is wasted on the young mantra of
yeah,
like, he didn't realize how good those times were until you lose them. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You don't realize like what you never realize what's the most innocent, responsible free time of your life
Mm,
until it's a retrospective. You never know anything in your life
mm.
until you retroactively look at it. You never know. Perfect office quote. That's one of the saddest scenes ever. He's like, I wish you knew the golden days when they were the golden days. Do you know what I mean? He's like,
Oh,
I wish I knew in the moment that someone would tell me this is like a prime time
oh,
of existence for you. Do you know what I
you
mean?
two gonna push me over the edge, man. Oh man, that's so like heartwarming and sad at the
Heartbreaking, but
same. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a very nice melancholy.
It is. I
It's
fucking
like,
love The Office.
yeah. Do you know that scene I'm talking about?
I don't know. I watched the entirety of The Office
Mm-hmm.
in the space of like 2 months, so I absorbed too much too quick. But I'll have to watch it again. That's a really nice saying. I remember
Mm-hmm.
I saw something recently, and it was you'll never know the last time you picked up your kid until it was the last time. As in, when they get too old enough,
Yeah.
like like I
Yeah.
obviously when I come in, my daughter runs up to me and I pick her up and we're playing and having a
Mm-hmm.
bit of fun. You don't know when the last time's gonna.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And
Am I messing?
do you know, in like a far less sentimental way, but still
Yeah,
meaningful,
yeah.
is like you never know the last time your friend's going to come online who you made over the
Yeah.
internet.
Oh man.
Do you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
360 days where I used to play with someone every single day.
Yeah.
And then you never know when the last time you have an online gaming session after doing it
Mm,
for 6 years in a row every
mm,
day with each other. You never know when that day is the last day where someone just doesn't log back on anymore. And then you know what I mean?
mm.
Isn't
It's
it
crazy.
crazy?
It is, man. Jesus.
Like, and it's like I think there's such a good lesson in like acknowledging something good was good and then also being able to let it go and move on as well. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. No,
I
totally,
think there's
totally.
such a good thing in that. Anyway, next
Jesus,
story.
that was deep. but
You
beautiful,
see,
beautiful.
there's lovely things in this episode. We could nearly just have the second half and it's perfect.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Right, so I put a question out on Instagram.
Do you
Uh,
ever have it and you could have it and you could and you always and you could and you know when you want it and you could and we'll all have and you could be in it and me and I could we all dreamed it together.
oh, I love it. So I put a message out on Instagram, on our Instagram page, which is at Press Any Button Pod, if you want to follow the Instagram. And I asked him for sleepover stories. So Carl wrote in and said, "Got a SNES, not quite at launch, but not far off official release date. Must have been 12. I didn't know anyone else with one. Brought it to my mate Macker's gaff the first weekend. Stayed up until the next day, finishing Super Mario World between us. What a fucking game. No internet for help or anything. Figuring shit out ourselves. Ah, like imagine
Yeah.
that. Like the Super Nintendo's brand fucking new. Super Mario World is brand fucking new. You go over to your friends.
And that's
You're
still such a beautiful game. I must play that
ah, it
next because I
is.
did play.
Oh,
Actually, I
so
must
nice.
alert
So nice.
the podcast. I played Super Mario Bros. 3,
Oh
your game
yeah.
that you love.
Oh
So I
man.
I played that. I did use a little bit of rewind action towards the end.
Ah,
I'll
look
hold
at
my hands up, but
look at
fantastic game,
yeah.
amazing, fucking really really good.
What was your favorite suit? What was your favorite suit, or did you have a favorite power up or anything?
So, like, obviously the Tanuki Mario being able to fly
Yeah, so
if you get
cool.
enough momentum, and then you can
Yeah,
keep going. But
yeah.
isn't there like a Super Tanuki one then as well? There's like
So
two.
there's the flower, or there's the leaf that gives you the raccoon tail, yeah,
Yes,
and you can
yes.
fly. There's a frog suit. There's the boot.
The
There's the
frog suit
Hammer Brothers
underwater
suit.
though is like you literally have full control underwater, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
like a
pretty
fucking
slick.
absolutely
Yeah.
like fucking amazing.
Then there is the full Tanuki suit, which is like you look like a teddy bear. I always thought he was a teddy bear, and so you can fly like the leaf. But what happens? What you can also do is you press down, and you turn into like a statue, and you become
Mm-hmm.
invincible. So if an enemy hits you, it doesn't hurt you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of later. Oh, what a game!
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fantastic.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I think next I'm gonna be playing another Buffy game I found, which I'm very
Oh,
excited
cool,
about.
nice, yeah.
Chaos Blades, and then I'll probably do Super Mario World. I think
Deadly.
I'll probably like get a proper go at that.
There's 96 level exits. So if you want to 100% Super Mario World, there's 96 exits. And you know when you start Super Mario World, you'll get 96 and there'll be a little star when you've 100. Now I don't know if you're playing like the mate just getting to the end and beating it, but if you want to do a full playthrough, I'm just
Mm,
throwing it out there. There's
mm,
96.
mm.
And it's pretty you get to the special levels, man, at the end
What's the
after the
what?
star rolls and
Okay,
they're
all right.
hard
What's
as fuck.
96 backwards?
Uh, 69, baby. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, definitely recommend Super Mario World 3. Have you, wait, hold on. You've played Super Mario World before,
I
have
have
you?
played like I feel like I haven't played it
Dribs and
properly.
drabs. Oh, cool.
I played some of it, and then
Mhm.
I streamed it with the pal of mine, and he kind of primarily played the playing of it. So
Right.
I kind of need like a proper playthrough to feel like I have that under my belt. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
What was I going to say? Zan fan. Well, anyway, this was just kind of a comment. They're going to read it. Boys, you're
Right.
killing the topics. I got to write them out and I'll send them your way, which we did, which is a beautiful story, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Got a dozen of adolescent boys around technology. You think we're sleeping, lol? Mary said, and there's a big picture of like
This is
a
Lilo.
inflatable
This is,
Lilo
oh,
that
I
you put
can't
in a
wait to hear
pool,
this.
right?
I can't wait to hear this.
Okay. Mary said, I went to a lot of sleepovers as a kid. Really, any excuse to leave the house and be somewhere different was always fun.
Hmm.
However, I'm a very particular sleeper. So I would bring a long pool floaty, the ones with the back and the armrest with me, to sleep on as a makeshift air mattress, along with about a dozen blankets. I would also bring tubs full of toys, beanie babies, because I could never pick just a few to bring. I don't know how my mum or my friends, for that matter, put up with my super extra and needy self.
Mary,
So
that's brilliant.
Mary was like, I love leaving the house, but only if I can bring the house
You
with
can
me.
bring the house. Oh, that is brilliant. Oh, that's so
Also,
funny.
there was one time at a sleepover, my friend and I stayed up. My other friend fell asleep, and we went snooping through the basement and accidentally walked in on one of her brothers masturbating.
Oh, oh,
Oh man,
fucking hell.
imagine that. I have so
Oh,
many stories, but my last one I'll share is one time my friend had an event through her church called a lock-in, where essentially we stayed overnight in a church and did activities, ate food, etc. It was around Christmas time, and naturally, I had some sort of illness, probably the flu. I had a fever, and I somehow convinced my mum to let me go because I had been looking forward to it. Not only did I run around and eat a ton of sugar with the fever, but the rooms we slept in were ice cold. Needless to say, I got way worse and spread my germs to my friend and got her sick too. And then we have a picture underneath. This is exactly the float. Dude, we should use the floaty picture for the episode.
That'd be gas.
It would be the worst.
Uh,
It would be the worst art for an episode ever, but it'd be so fucking funny.
I saw that in the Discord and was like, I can't read it, but I really wanted to
Yeah.
know what it was.
There's
That's
one
fucking
last
hilarious.
comment to that, by
Yeah,
the way, which
go
says,
for it.
"Oh, sorry, one last thing. It was at a sleepover at my friend's house that I met my husband, Kyle."
No way. Ah,
Yeah. So
deadly.
they've been married since they were been like 2 or something. I don't know. It's been a bit.
Oh, right.
They're like literally childhood sweethearts.
Ah, no way. That's deadly.
Yeah,
That's really
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Mhm.
cool. Brilliant. Right, I'm gonna hit you with another one here. Right, so this is from Babylon Fish Cake, which is a great
Beautiful name, yeah.
Instagram name. So he says, here's a sleepover story. I used to stay with my mates, bring my Xbox 360 and a TV with me. Fucking LAN parties, man.
Yeah, I
Uh,
used to do that myself.
and we used to do a 24-hour session playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion. We'd be doing guilds side by side. That's so fucking cool.
We used to do that as well, man. Where we'd actually play single player games, but we'd want to like just play them next to each other.
Yeah,
So I remember playing Dead Rising on our 360, and we both just play Dead Rising on separate TVs and give each other tips and help each other
no
through different
way.
parts. So
Deadly.
it was kind of like a co-op experience, but you'd
Yeah,
like, it was really cool.
that's a really cool idea, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's a great story. Like just playing them side by side. Fucking playing single player games side by side, just
Hmm.
fucking having the crack.
Sure, the Game Boy playing Pokemon, like, when you're in sleepovers and stuff and all that shit, like, and be like, oh, I
Yeah,
just found an Abra, or like, whatever. And you're like,
yeah,
no way, where'd you find that? You're sharing the experience with it.
yeah. No, that's fucking great.
Delta Sapphire
Mm-hmm.
said, I would try so much when I was younger to always have sleepovers at my cousin's house just because I didn't want to be at home, lol. But every time I did, I had to pack basically 6 or 7 of my stuffed elephants. Delta and Mary are very similar people.
Yeah,
Because I was obsessed and would get mad if I had to go to bed without all of them. So a mandatory 7 full
yeah.
elephants, like an elephant orgy heading to bed. One time when I was over there, though, we snuck down the stairs to make hot chocolate and get some s'mores.
Mm.
Then go back upstairs and put in a VHS tape of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh,
Oh God, I'd love. You know what? You've kind of got me a little bit of a hankering for VHS.
Jesse,
You're like infectious. Do you know what I mean? And like not in a good way.
do it, man. Do it.
But they started because like there's something about watching Dragon Ball Z the way I watched it on TV that like or like the ads around that time
Mm.
because I have a 3-hour tape upstairs of recorded Dragon Ball episodes that I need to use your VHS player to play so we can
Oh
look at all the
yeah.
old ads and stuff as
Yeah,
well at
yeah.
the time.
I'm gonna bring down my VHS player next time. I'm
Okay,
coming down.
perfect.
Yeah,
Do.
yeah.
You're gonna have to bring a CRT as well, so good luck with that.
Shit.
Well, I have an adapter that we can use, but
Well,
like I'd love it on a CRT. Do you know what I mean? Do you have a Fat
yeah.
Boy?
I don't. But I was
I feel
over
like
in.
how can I ask a genuine like niche
You
question
can, yeah.
for someone that loves like that kind of stuff? How do you not have one?
I did have one, and
Oh,
unfortunately, when we had to move from the last house where I had my game room,
uh
and I didn't have
space.
I didn't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
space,
yeah.
so I just had to get rid of it. Because at the moment, everything is boxed away for the most part.
But you had to get rid of the TV, was
I
it?
had to get
For
rid of the
space reasons,
TV.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was thinking to
They're
myself, I was like,
monsters.
you're such a connoisseur of VHS and stuff.
Yeah,
And not
love
that
it.
I think there's a right way or wrong way of watching
Yeah,
it, but I
no.
just would have assumed you would
Yeah.
have,
Oh, I
had one.
actually, sorry, I did get one. Right, here's a funny story. I did get one. Right, so my stepmom had one, and it was a little tiny screen. Yeah,
I love them.
and it was. So my stepmom has like a photography studio, and out the back, this was sitting out the back for ages. And I was like, "Can I drop out and get that?" And she said, "Yeah, no bother." So I went out and got it, and I brought it home, and I actually plugged in my Sega Dreamcast. This is only like a year or two ago. I plugged in my Sega Dreamcast, and I turned the TV on this little CRT, and when I changed the channel, I just heard like a boom, and then smoke started coming out. It
No
literally,
fucking
it
way.
literally went on fire.
What?
I
It
had
went
to
on
pick up
fire?
the TV with the
Jesus.
cables attached and just fucking out the back garden.
Dude, I love that's like the definition. That's a metaphor for life, man. When fucking something's blazing around you, just pick it up and fuck it out at the nearest door you can find. Isn't that such like the response of "oh fuck this," and you just like fucking lob it out, and like out the outside can deal with that fucking mess.
It was like it was just so like it was just fucking insane. I was like, I'm glad he didn't like turn it on upstairs and walk downstairs to get a coffee or something.
Yeah, it's fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But I must drop into I told you I dropped into Ben from Laser Steak the other day, man, and you should see he has like
Oh,
man,
you
he
should
has
send
like
me
a fucking
photos. Send me photos
arcade.
of
He
his.
has a
Yeah, send me
fucking
photos.
arcade beside his house, and he was telling me he has like extra CRT TVs. I might just
I'd
ask
say so, yeah. But
him.
get because this is so weird, but like I had a little CRT in my room,
Mm,
and like I've such an emotional connection to that
yeah,
in terms of like it was my little box that I used to kick
yeah,
around. I used to stick stickers all over it. I
deadly.
used to like, you kind of like I played all my games, like, I had it in loads of my like bedroom setups growing up.
Mhm.
And like obviously I just must have fucking got chucked or gave away
Yeah,
or something, but
yeah.
like I'd love to have it now, you know what I mean?
Ah, yeah, man, big time. I remember when I first moved out. When I first moved out of home, me and a few of my friends rented a house in Dalkey, and it was a big,
Gawky
huge fucking
docky.
house. It was a big, huge fucking house, man. But it was like really old, hadn't been done up in years, and
It's a
whatever.
giant student
Yeah,
house, like.
yeah, yeah, it was,
Yeah.
yeah. But I brought like my TV at the time was my sister's old TV, and it was a little tiny yellow one. Like
Mhm.
what are they, like a 12-inch like screen, like almost
Mhm.
the same size as a laptop screen,
Mhm.
and it was like a little yellow one. And I remember like I was literally used it for like playing my Xbox 360 at the time. There was that like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
and that was a CRT, yeah?
yeah, and it was a CRT, and I
So
remember
you're using the composite cables instead of the HDMI ports
yeah,
and stuff,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I remember going from that to buying. I remember one day I got paid and I walked down to Xvision and I bought a TV. I think I got paid like €360.
Mhm.
I spent 359.99 on a 32-inch TV,
Yeah.
and I still have that TV. I
Is
fucking
that the
love
Samsung one?
it. No, it's not Samsung. It's
Or
I don't even know what
that's
the
not the one you're
brand is.
using in your setup now, is
No,
it?
no, it's in the attic.
Oh,
I have
sorry,
it in
sorry,
the attic,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
But oh man,
Um,
yeah. Sorry,
that's
we're
gas.
going on to CRTs, but they
Hang
just
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, or just fucking. I just love CRTs, man. Get into
Yeah.
VHS, do the VHS. They're brilliant.
I mean, like for playing the old games, it is the best way to go. They also have the least latency. So like if you actually want to play speed running, like if you
Right?
see speed running from R64, they're playing it on an N64 and a CRT
Really? Yeah.
because the input delay is less.
You
So like when
serious?
you
I
push
didn't
up on a
realize that.
controller, it's almost seamless. Like there's
Yeah.
no input delay on that.
No
But
way.
because there's all processing that goes on in flat screens and different effects
Mm,
and stuff that go into it, there's like a slight delay. That's why
mm.
there's game modes on the new TVs and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Ah, right. Jeez, I
So
didn't
it has
realize
its
that. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So it has the refresh rate on those old TVs is like infinite. So it's like where like you have a 60 hertz TV or whatever
Yeah.
or 120 or whatever. Anyway, sorry. I'll continue on with Delta's story.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
I'm putting
Delta. We got so sidetracked.
I'm putting a VHS tape of Dragon Ball Z, but they both started getting mad each other downstairs while making the hot chocolate, and she took the little packet of hot chocolate mix and threw it in his face and stormed back upstairs. Meanwhile, I'm still just making s'mores and not really caring just because I'm hungry and I want to watch Dragon Ball Z. They ended up going to bed and yelled at me when I still turned it on. I wouldn't go to sleep. In the morning, my aunt found all the hot chocolate powder everywhere in the kitchen and told my parents that we were coming to pick me up early because the kids had chores to do and wasn't allowed to help them.
Fucking hell. Oh.
And moral of the story is Delta was a little shit.
Oh, Zelda's so funny, man. Remember
Oh,
the
he's
time we were
gas.
sitting there watching his stream, and I think him and Mary were talking about me and you or something,
Podcast, yeah.
and I was watching, and it was
You were lurking.
yeah, I was lurking it up, but he's gas, he's very funny. But so sorry, my next one is from on Instagram, gar.g.r. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so Gar says. I remember it so well. Gears of War had just come out.
Oh, I was at the midnight launch for that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, with my
deadly.
dad, and I got the original one with the art book and the DVD and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Probably the best gaming day of my life.
Yeah. Oh,
Gears of
really?
War,
Yeah.
Gears of War, man, is like, like a fucking,
Mm.
just like that's all I can say.
So
Like
Gears
Gears of
over
War is,
Halo.
yeah,
Oh, you had to think. You had a little look in
That's
your eye
very
there.
tough because at the moment I'm playing Halo Infinite co-op campaign and it's the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah,
I just did it for the first time this weekend, gone with my cousin David.
deadly.
And it's an open world Halo game where we're grappling off each other's backs with grapple hooks, and the momentum of one person grappling and another person, like it's endless physics box Breath of the Wild possibilities in a Halo
Deadly.
game. Imagine co-op Breath of the Wild with
Yeah.
shit with guns.
Class.
Then we decided to play Gears of War 5 afterwards, and
Mm,
like that's the only game I'd consider myself good at.
right.
Like I would consider myself like a good multiplayer Gears of War
Yeah.
player. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
We just had so much fun with that as well. But the original Gears, like nothing looked as good. Like the original Gears was like such a leap
Yeah.
in graphics that like
Mm,
it blew my fucking mind.
mm,
Like to this day, I can still look at the original Gears of War. I'm like, that's not a bad looking fucking game for 2006 or whatever.
yeah.
Like the comparison to it was like you'd compare San Andreas that came out like a year before to that, and it's like
Mm,
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Even though
Oh
it's an
yeah.
open world game and a linear. Anyway, I'm sorry. But yeah, I just got passionate about Gears of War there.
That's all right, man. That's all good. It's a fucking great game. What Gears was I playing? What I was playing one of the older ones when I was in your house.
I was showing you the backwards compatibility enhancements on the
Yeah,
Series
yeah.
X. So I think you were
Was
playing Gears of War 3, but it was at like a higher frame rate and a higher resolution.
fucking looked deadly, man. It was
Yeah.
class. Right. So sorry. So Gar said, I remember it so well. Gears of War had just come out. I had always been a PlayStation guy, but nothing had quite tickled my fancy like seeing Marcus Phoenix running down the empty street with Mad World playing
Oh,
over it. My
oh my
friend
God. Do you
had
remember that ad?
no.
It's
Oh
like all around me are familiar places. And like,
yeah.
do you not remember that on
I
TV?
don't. No, I don't,
Fuck
man.
off.
No, I don't. I don't.
That blows my mind. It was
Yeah.
like omnipresent on YouTube and all ads on
Oh
TV for when it
really?
launched. Yeah.
Oh shit! I'll check it out after.
Look it up if you
I will.
like. Look it up now if you want, but look it up after
And
anyway.
yeah, I'll definitely I'll check it out after 100%. So Marcus Phoenix run down the empty street with Mad World playing over. My friend had just purchased the game on release day, and we confirmed it does in fact have a multiplayer campaign. Coordinating closely with our parents, we collected the Xbox and hunkered down in my living room with snacks and duvets. That evening, we was an absolute roller coaster of emotions, and we finished the game at around 5:30 a.m. The rolling credits were down and out by my mother. The rolling credits were drowned out by my mother shouting, "Sweet Jesus, you're not still up." As she came down the stairs to get ready for work, I'll never forget it. Take me back. That is fucking. That's just a beautiful story, isn't it, man?
People I met through Gears of War, man, and like the
Yeah,
experience of doing the co-op campaign and with random people on Insanity and trying to do all the difficulty levels, and like, oh my god. And
man.
also, online gaming at that time was like fucking holy shit. Like everyone had a microphone and everyone was screaming the worst shit possible in your
Oh
ears,
yeah, yeah,
and it was just like fucking like a room of 20 people going like, blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
fuck you, you
yeah,
stupid bitch,
yeah,
I'll kill you.
yeah,
Like it was
yeah.
brilliant.
Crazy shit. Oh, deadly, deadly.
Oh
That's
fuck.
such a good story. Such a good story.
Gears of War, man. Oh, I'd like, I could literally do like a fucking, I could literally do a solo 3 hour podcast of me just rambling about Gears of War. Like I fucking love
We
it so
should
much.
do a Gears of War podcast. Absolutely. I played
Well,
like one,
if it
two,
forces you
three.
to play through, you know what? They're really short. Each campaign's only like 6 hours
I've
long max.
I've played them. I've played
You're
them all.
gonna, well, you'd have a mandatory have to replay them.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Well, I have a little bit of a fucking tickle your dick fucking scenario
Come
and
on,
pull
tickle
that
me,
skin
dick.
right
Come on,
off and
tickle it,
fucking
tickle
till
it.
your scrotums. You're gonna fucking listen to me hard. You're gonna listen to me good, right?
Right.
And you're gonna fucking bend on over and you're gonna fucking absorb what I have to tell you. Okay?
Right.
We're gonna fucking carve out some time and we're gonna play all the Gears of War campaigns online co-op. And the way we're gonna do this, because I'm gonna give you my Xbox One or something like that, and we're gonna do it. All right? You hear?
Yeah.
You hear? You hear? You love it?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And then once we have that shared bonding experience of playing it in the hardest difficulty for 16 years, and then we'll finally release a podcast called We Finally Did It. And then we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, that sounds, man. In 16 years, like we're gonna do this.
It's going to probably take us that long to beat all the games in Insanity. Yeah. When one person dies, the other person dies.
Yes, yes. Oh,
So,
really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
So
sounds good.
it's a big test of strength and friendship.
It is.
And
We
it's almost
fucking kill each
broken
other.
in parts of how, well, that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We need to push our boundaries.
yeah,
We need a
yeah.
little bit, nothing like a bit of murder to spice up a romance. Um,
Oh, brilliant.
I have one here from Barbosa Online.
Yeah.
Another brilliant streamer. Go check out Barbosa online. Streams before me actually. I think streams from like as a 10 in the morning or 11 till about my time.
Cool.
So yeah, go check him out. Had all my friends round for a sleepover when Fire Red and Leaf Green came out.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus. Just when you hear like when the game came out and you're all excited and all your friends come over and you all buy it, like, oh,
Mm.
fuck off, like it's so good, like. We were all so excited about trading, and the Union Room was playing till about 1 a.m. when my mom came in and confiscated all our Game Boys, saying that she was going to put them somewhere and we would never find them.
Oh
At
no.
about 1:30, I decided to sneak out of the room and try and find them. Sadly, returned empty-handed. Thankfully, one of my friends hid under the bed when my mum came in, so he still had his Game Boy. We
Deadly.
huddled around him and watched him play. In the morning, we'd seen that she had hidden them in the fruit bowl.
Because
Just like
kids don't eat fruit back then. They just eat sweets. They're like, they'll never
yeah,
look in
yeah,
here.
100%. The image though of like you could make a piece of art of like
Oh,
loads of kids huddling around in the dark and just the light of your Game Boy Advance. Like,
100%.
do you
100%.
know what I mean?
Oh,
Conveys so
brilliant.
much fucking.
Man, I'm like genuinely loving these fucking stories, man. They're
Yeah,
just
they're
so,
fantastic.
they're fucking beautiful and heartwarming and
Hmm.
nostalgic, even though I wasn't there. It's just,
Well, yeah, like fucking catching your friend's brother masturbating is extremely heartwarming, but you know.
yeah. Oh God. Right. So the next story I have is from Jack to Basics, yeah. Which
Hmm.
is a great, very clever name. So Jack says, remember staying at my mate's house when I was around 10ish and staying up all night playing Oblivion and Minecraft after his ma went to bed. Lost track of time, didn't get a wink of sleep, and to top it all off, got dragged to mass the next morning.
Oh,
If it wasn't bad enough that I was ready to collapse with exhaustion, I still had to do a full workout of standing, sitting, and kneeling for over an hour, with my reward being a flavorless piece of wafer. I've never played Oblivion on a Saturday night since.
oh my god. Oh, flavorless piece of wafer by.
Oh, brilliant, Jack. Brilliant.
Dude, I
Fuck
genuinely
you.
remember like getting communion and being like, I'm starving, and I was like, I will actually like have take like 60 more if I could. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I would fucking take them all, consecrated or not. I'd be like, fucking put them on in, you know. Um, that's fucking gas, man. I also remember. Do you remember? Like I remember having to go to like Christmas mass up to a certain age for sure. Do you know, like Christmas Eve,
Mm,
like my folks would be taking us to mass, and I remember like it was the longest because I was too excited for Christmas. I was too excited for Santa to come, and I knew I was going to be getting like a Dragon Ball game or fucking something. And it was like at the fucking the longest masses ever, as well as like the Christmas Eve mass. It was like fucking an hour and a half, and to my child brain, waiting for Santa to come, it was like 19 years.
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, how many more do you have left?
I have three here that I can see in front of me, but there might be one or two. Four here that I can see in front of me. There might be
All
one or
right,
two.
all right. We'll
Five,
blast.
six here.
Oh
Sorry,
fuck.
I'm literally just looking at Instagram. First one is from Arcane Pain. Said, when I was younger, played Resident Evil 2 in a friend's house, but the mom kicked me out because I kept saying Jesus. uh,
Jesus Christ.
the next one is from David, who says, just simply, I had no friends growing up.
Well, we're your friends now.
Yes, David, we're your friends now. Then there's one from Lasersteak. Now, so Lasersteak, Ben sent me a message the other day saying, I have a story, and I asked him for it again today, and he wouldn't send it to me. He was like, I have a story for your podcast, but prepare to be cancelled. And I'm like, tell me the story. And he
Yeah,
hasn't sent it to me.
at least let us vet it, and then we can decide
Yeah.
whether it's cancelable or not. You
So
know.
he sent me the PG story, and it just said, I had a sleepover before when I was 11 or 12. Guy's house who I ended up staying in, puking all over. Fuck me, I can't read this. Guy whose house.
Read it. Is that you can't read it because of the content, or you literally just can't
No,
fundamentally use your lips?
hold on, I'll read it again. Right, he said he had a sleepover when he was 11 or 12. The guy whose house I was in ended up puking all over the place.
Oh fuck!
And that's
It's
it.
happened to me before.
Yeah, there's no context there. But yeah, he might have had a migraine. He might have had a
You might
migraine.
have a migraine. You know.
Uh, the bad man, who was Gary, who was a very fucking cool dude, said, I fell asleep playing Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the PS1. My friend said I was still pushing buttons in my sleep. That's so fucking cool. And then the last one here, sorry, this is it. I thought there was two more. It's one person sent in two. So it's from Corivium. So Corivium said, my mate stayed over years ago and we rented King Kong on PS2. Was class by.
Mm,
You have to, he said, bye. It has to be a cork, man.
class.
He went first and said he'd swap when he died. He never died and completed it.
Wait, what?
So he said that he go first, and when he died, he'd pass it over, but he never
Uh,
died, and he completed the game. So he is the only person
I
who got
think
the
the game's supposed to be quite short. It's supposed to be quite decent, but it's supposed to be one of the easiest 1000G on the
all
Xbox
right.
360 as well.
That's most of my stories there. I think.
All right, I got a few here for you.
Right.
And also, I have a couple of questions to read out from our previous questions on the podcast that I want to catch up on as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Some of the question answers because there were a few behind in that.
Mhm.
Florida man said, I never had sleepovers with other people, but I remember when I was a kid, my grandma had a bunch of Nintendo consoles at her house, and whenever we went to see her, that's what I'd be playing. I remember sitting in front of the TV in the living room playing shit like Super Mario All Stars or playing Tetris Attack with my brother there. She had some other game consoles like the GameCube and the OG PlayStation in the room. She kept her pet birds, and I got vague memories of seeing the original Grand Theft Auto being played by my older sister. I was obviously way too young for that game.
Deadly,
But
deadly.
nice, cool little story there.
Nice.
Nothing like having a sleepover with family as well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Hatzer said, go on, Miss Hatzer, one of my mods.
Yeah.
I had many sleepovers, but the one that always makes me smile, it's Friday night. My best friend Emma, oh my God, would come and stay over and would have pizza for tea in my bedroom, bopping about to the previous week's top 40 songs that I taped from the radio and
Deadly.
playing taping shit from the
Yeah.
radio. That's
Fucking
fucking
love it.
class.
Yeah.
And playing GoldenEye on my N64.
Class.
We'd always start with a random level, always in DK mode, and would laugh ourselves silly. Then it came to the real highlight, the split screen multiplayer. I'd always be Odd Job and should always be Jaws. Best thing about Odd Job, his hitbox was so small, she'd never get me, but I'd
Oh
always
yeah.
kill her.
Deadly.
I could tell she was always getting annoyed to hell, but I was a sore loser and I couldn't let her win. So to finish off the night, we'd usually play Pokemon Snap.
Oh, Miss Hatzer, you're
Doesn't
killing
your heart melt? Like I would
Killing me.
fucking give both my testicles for that night. I'd be like, just take them away, by
This episode is way more emotional than I was anticipating. Like,
yeah.
it's hitting me in the fucking feels. Like, it's really hit me, man.
The stories are like super like nostalgic, warm,
Yeah,
fuzzy. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
can like I get such an image. Like, I'm already imagining what Miss Hatzer's room was like with the
yeah,
taping, with the posters on the wall of your
yeah.
favorite bands and stuff. Do you know?
Oh,
Teapot says, "Oh gods, yeah, my best friend after we played Resident Evil Code Veronica ducked down behind the window. It was dark. I was washing up. She jumped up and slammed on the window. Genuinely thought a zombie had come and get me, and my legs crumbled from underneath me." I also went back off the chair while she was playing Dino Crisis, and the fecking T Rex came out of the mirror. We used to spend a lot of our childhood playing games like Bomberman, Street Fighter. Plock was some of the best times.
deadly.
And they're kind of the main ones of the stories we got submissions in. So thank you so much for all
Yeah,
them. They're
they're
absolutely
so
beautiful.
cool. It was so nice to hear them.
You really made an episode out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Really, really rocked and worlded. We would like, I mean, without those submissions, what would we be?
Yeah, what would it be? Yeah. Oh, that's
um,
brilliant.
Now, as well, just a bit of what garden
House
keeping,
cleaning,
house cleaning. That's the term. Thank you.
gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping, just a bit of gatekeeping. No one's allowed to listen to this podcast unless you got some nostalgia in your bones.
The Last of Us isn't retro.
Oh, fuck your little fucking willy. The last of it in retro. I don't even know, man. You wouldn't be playing with an iPhone 3 today, would you, mate? Okay, so just in terms of doing a little bit of housekeeping, catching up on some of the Q&As for last times, we had from the Mary Major episode, what was the top 5 retro games you recommend someone wanting to get into retro gaming? And we got from Garrett, we got Pokemon Red, agreed, solid title. Gears
Nice.
of War, yes please. Time Splitters 2, which I need to play Time Splitters.
Yeah, I've never played it.
Yeah. You know,
Cool.
maybe an opportunity for us.
Mm.
We still need to do an episode where we both play a retro game neither of us have played, and then do like a fucking
yeah.
review on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We really need to do that.
Shit, yeah.
Crash Team Racing, such a hard game. I played
it,
the
yeah?
remake only, but it's fucking deadly.
Nice.
Ratchet and Clank 1. Also, you can edit your Twitch intro to include Toad to jump out and scream, "What's going on? It's me, Nisha." This is in relation to that clip we had. Hey, what's
Yeah.
going on, it's me, Nisha.
Love it. Oh, brilliant.
From last week, we had our top 10 video game crushes, and of course, we got a couple of
Oh,
responses on this bad boy.
yes, yes.
So we had from Ceaseless, one of my fellow mods. Am
Yeah.
I the only one who thought of N64 Candy Kong? 10% furry at minimum.
Man, 10% furry, I feel like a
It's
few
become a
people have
meme.
yeah, a few
Yeah,
people
it's
have
become
said
a meme
that
about.
10% furry. We should get a t-shirt that says 10%
Yeah.
furry or
Oh,
something.
that's a fucking dude. A t-shirt that says 10% furry with the Presley Bun to continue logo on the arm would
Yeah.
be fucking genius.
Brilliant.
Oh my god. Draco Ninja, aka Johnny, said, another one of my Modarunios. Honestly, it would be close one to say. The first one I had was Trish from Devil May Cry,
Mm.
which you're just started your Devil May
Oh,
Cry
I'm
3
playing Devil May Cry
playthrough. Very
3, yeah,
excited.
yeah. And what's his
Which I
name's
which I
version's a
picked
cunt.
Lady. I picked Lady. He's so cool though.
He
He's
is, he
so
is. It's
cool.
so
You know what I
fucking
mean?
difficult. I'm not stuck on like mission
Oh,
7 or
yeah,
8.
7. Yeah,
Oh,
it's tough, man. Then as I got older was Lightning from Final Fantasy 13.
oh yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Sorry, hold
Mhm.
on. I'm appreciating it. I'm appreciating. Lightning is hot as fuck.
That is I fucking coming up booms. Ever since Cyberpunk 2077, it's been Judy.
Yeah,
I feel like I know that character, but I also can't remember that
I'll have to
character.
look up Judy.
Sam just literally said, Trish Marigold, don't at me.
Is that
From,
is that your Sam?
yes,
Yeah.
it's my
Who's
Sam.
Trish Marigold?
That is the other romance option in The Witcher 3 and the other Witcher games. So
Ah,
you get
yeah,
it for
yeah, yeah,
Trish.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Sassy,
Very good,
sexy
Sam.
ginger, nothing like a hot gingy, baby.
You talking about me?
Uh, you know yourself, boy. You know yourself. And we're from Sandra. I mean, of course, man. I get it on in there. You got a fucking slate today. Sandra, how are you doing? Definitely Crash Bandicoot, but particularly from the Warped game. Wearing that leather jacket,
Sorry.
slap it on in. Are you still in the hot ginger
No,
part?
no, no, no. It was like I felt like we were on like a TV show there, and you were like, Sandra's on the phone here. So Sandra, how you doing today? And I was expecting Sandra
Sandra
to
girl,
start talking.
how are you getting on, Sandra? Before Warped, he looks too young, lol. Oh, I love the way we're like, it's like, ooh, what's the consenting age of a bandicoot?
Fuck's sake, brilliant, brilliant.
And then we have from
Oh.
Daniel, Tifa Lockhart. Is that not everybody's?
Mm,
I mean,
yeah.
that's a fair point.
I just finished Final Fantasy 7, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, what a
What
fuck!
would you give
Like
it out of 10?
honestly, yeah,
Yeah, like in
uh,
today, 2022, like
yeah, yeah.
2023 shit, fucking last year there.
Like, like, dare I give a game 10 out of 10? Is the question. Like, am I just being stupid by saying 10 out of 10? Like, I feel like the only thing that kind of held this game back was the graphics,
Which I suppose is hard to blame on the time that it
yeah,
came out
but
in.
I genuinely enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a fucking 10, man, right? And I'm
Gonna
gonna
give it a
tell you,
10?
I'm gonna tell you why, right? The story itself was fucking amazing, and obviously, I'm
Mm.
not gonna go through it because the remake is coming out. It was my first time playing it. Don't
Well,
want to
the
say any
remake is out,
spoilers.
but there'll be other parts to it.
Yeah, or
Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
the rest of it. The music is fucking ridiculous. One of the lads, Jamie, sent me on a podcast that was
Mm.
just about fucking
Can't wait to
Final
show you the
Fantasy
remake.
7
I
music.
can't wait to show you the remake, man.
Oh, like I loved the characters. I loved
Mm-hmm.
the cutscenes. I
Yeah, the
fucking love.
FMVs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I loved how they looked, man. I loved how
Mm-hmm.
they looked. The gameplay, everything about it, man. I loved the fact it was on 3 discs. It was very fucking retro.
Mm.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna give it a fucking no. Can't give it a 10.
Well, you can from like there's plenty of games that people give it 10 and they're not
Actually, yeah,
perfect.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
I'm
as
gonna
in
give it a
like
fucking
you give
10,
it a
man.
10 because you enjoyed like you feel like you couldn't have enjoyed it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be objectively a perfect game, but in your experience playing it, what you're basically saying by giving it a 10, I feel is that like I couldn't have had a better time playing it.
I couldn't. I really
So there you
couldn't.
go. So
Yeah,
that's like a 10 for you, do you know?
like I think it took me around 50 odd hours.
It's a long fucking game.
I didn't like. There's still loads more because when I posted about it on Instagram saying that I'd completed the main story, and
Mhm.
so many people got on to me saying like, "Oh man, you need to do this. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that?" There was a character that I totally missed,
Mm.
like a playable character that I totally missed. Like, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so much more to do. But I'm happy playing through it. I did like I've been playing it since fucking
It was
November,
your
and it's the
adventure, do you know
only
what I
thing.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, like there's different options or different side
But
things you could be doing, but that was your adventure. Like going back and doing it
mm,
again would lose a bit of its value, I think.
and Tifa is
Babe.
so is
Say
Cloud.
that. I'd say there
So
was a
that
couple
fucking
of fucking lad sleepovers with Tifa on the wall. I tell you, I'd say it was like fucking. I'd
and
say it was like a
Sephiroth
couple of.
actually.
Say it was like a couple of chickens in a hen all cocking away. Do you know what I mean? I'd say there was a bit of an old fucking Tifa lag part.
An awful lot of very good looking people in that game actually. Yeah.
I tell you, I tell you.
Oh, Final Fantasy
Um,
6.
Final Fantasy Six. Is that what you said?
That did. I was like trying to think of something funny. It didn't work.
Oh, it
I'm
was no.
leaving
You
it
know what?
though.
It did work. You have to leave that
Yeah,
one in.
yeah. Final
Um,
Fantasy 6.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Cream the Dreams, fucking whatever it's fucking on in there. I guess that is our fucking sleepovers for today.
Our sleepover stories. That was.
That's our sleepover. Now,
Yeah.
we will update you on our sleepover. What we might do
Mm.
is when Nisha's visiting next, when we do our sleepover, we'll put up stories on the Press and Bun to Continue
Yeah,
Instagram
100%.
of our process of our pajamas, our face masks, and the food we get.
Yes.
And we can keep you updated and we'll refer you back to this episode.
Yeah. What games we
and
play and what
what
movies,
game-
what VHS we watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll rent. You know what we'll do? We'll do our little. We'll do a little rent. What we'll do is we'll go into our local CEX and we'll buy DVDs. Right. So what we'll do is we'll go and we'll buy whatever for
Yeah.
for like €1 or whatever,
Yeah.
and we'll rock it.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, thank you so much for your submissions,
Thank
Nisha.
you very
Where can
much.
we find you, baby?
You can find me on the floor crying because I'm so emotional after this episode.
I know. It's a lot of nice stories, man.
Just check out Press Any Button. What's the name of this podcast again?
Press the A button to continue
Press Any Button to fuck
on
off
Instagram. And also, I'm going to put if you want to come in, like the easiest way, you can find me on Twitch, steamy_streamers.
Yeah.
And if you pop in there and you want a link to the Discord, I have a command, you can put it in,
Check
but I'll
out the
also put it in
Discord.
the episode. A lot of people tend to, I remind people about the podcast on the stream. And so a lot of people kind of come through that anyway.
Cool.
So say hi on Steamy Streamers. A few of you had recently, looking at you,
Deadly.
Retro Game,
Deadly.
who's had a lovely goddamn week with us.
Brilliant.
So yeah, pop
Delighted
on
to hear
in,
that.
say hello, and we'll get some podcast feedback. And you can also pop into the Discord. So when we have our next topic of discussion, like today, for all the people you've heard, you can do it on Instagram or on the Discord. And good way to connect with our audience.
It was beautiful, man. Really enjoyed that.
So yeah, make sure you rate it 5 stars if you enjoyed it.
Please. What are we on, like 79? Giggity.
We're on 79. We're
It doesn't
21 away from the coveted 100.
Yes.
And another great thing you can do is if you enjoyed it and you know someone who would like it, would love if you'd be
Please
willing to
share
share it, because I think that's kind
It's
of the best way to go.
It 100% is. It 100% is, because I listen to podcasts and I'll tell my friends and they get stuck into it, and then you're texting about it and you're fucking talking about it. So yeah, please do share it with friends.
With all that said and done, we're going to cream the dreams. We're going to slay the hammer. We're going to go, boop, oh, fucking bottoms. And we will see you all. Oh, fucking bottoms. I must have destroyed my pantaloons. These sleepovers and this goddamn mutual masturbation session that we're having with each other while we're fucking sucking each other dry will be absolutely scandalous in the morning. It's how else do boys learn? We're slapping it on in and slaying to the hey, would you not be shifting your friends when you're younger, practicing on the lads before you get to the ladies? Do you know what I mean? You gotta fucking learn somewhere, don't you? Anyway, lads, I'll talk to you all soon. It's been for real. Peace out. Jizz Loyalty. Always cream the dreams. And hashtag Jizz Loyalty. That's JIZZ. That's 2 Z's in there. And believe in yourself, because you are the dream. You are your own maker. And always say to yourself, I got this. Do you know what I mean? And if you need to fucking jerk it in front of a full-length mirror to know that you're the boss of your own existence, you fucking do that, man. Because I tell you, you're going to be old one day, and you said, you know when we're talking about you never know when the golden age is? You'll be old, you won't be able to even get a fucking hard on, and you wish you fucking used every wank you've ever had.
Remember your last wank?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's so true. That's so... One day will be your last wank. Oh my God.
Stop it.
Oh my God. I wonder when the last wank will be. Oh my God. One day you'll wake up and you'll be like, the last time I jerked the old chicken was in 1972. Them young whippersnappers sure know how to brew up an old wank. I'll talk to you later though. This was good. Seriously though, share it and rate it 5 stars. Love you. Bye.